going to be your political roundup, your political news for June 23rd. And we got a lot of stuff to get through, and I'm going to talk quick because I've drank way too much caffeine today. So let's move. First and foremost, Fox News is reporting that the State Department is not done with Hillary Clinton quite yet. In fact, the State Department is probing Clinton's handlings into her government emails and could, in fact, pull her security clearance and her aides clearances as well. And in this Fox News article, it goes on to state that they confirmed with this gentleman right here, Senate Judiciary Committee Chair Chuck Grassley, that the department's formal inquiry is ongoing. Now, it's funny because Fox News is actually stating their source for this story. Keep in mind, a lot of times in corporate media land, CNN, Washington Post, HuffPo, they'll have anonymous sourcing when they get their stories. So whenever a story comes out in the mainstream media, definitely check for sourcing as to how they heard the things they're reporting. So luckily Fox News did here. So we know this is definitely ongoing. And in this article itself, it states that Clinton's spokesperson, Nick Merrill, told Fox News that the investigation into Clinton's mishandling of classified info is done. Quote, it's case closed, literally. The article itself states that's not really a universally held view, and obviously not, because he's confirming that the State Department is still probing Clinton. And Chris Farrell of Judicial Watch, as it says in this article, is has filed a number of lawsuits related to the Clinton emailed scandal, and still ongoing. So, interesting. Interesting also, in concert with this article that CNN just posted in regards to Jonathan Podesta, because John Podesta is going to testify in front of the House Intelligence Committee next week in regards to his thousands of leaked emails. Remember, the emails that leaked just before the presidential election that was really a huge political headache for Hillary Clinton. And those emails, remember, had a lot of interesting things in them. Pizzagate. Sorry, a little sick, but it's very interesting. And again, it's actually in a classified session, so we're not really going to know what goes down from this hearing. But hey, if there's any good time to arrest Jonathan Podesta, it's going to be next week. So we'll keep our eyes on that as well. And next, we're going to move into NPR. NPR stated an article, they printed an article, when was it? Just 2 days ago on June 21st. And they stated that in the event of attack, this was actually the headline of the article, here's how the government plans to save itself, quoted in the article. And really, this article was basically a huge just fear porn blast to nuclear war. It's like, if nuclear war happens, this would still, this is how the IRS would function. This is how what the Park Service would do and the Department of Agriculture. This was really a big just fear porn article. But what was very interesting to note was that it stated in there a little bit of information about deep underground bases, about how the government would literally flee to underground bases, and putting a little bit of truth in plain sight in regarding that right there. And also, I mean, in regards to this article, when the government does flee, and the reason I think this article was thrown out there is because it wouldn't be because of a nuclear attack, it would be because of pissed off citizens. So I think this article was really thrown out there to say, here's how the government would run and hide when the majority of the population finds out how bad shit really is. So go check out that NPR article. Interesting. Very interesting. Next, we're moving into Trump. And just today, Trump admitted that he did not have any tapes that he recorded of former FBI Director James Comey, which is very interesting. Everything's interesting, right? Everything's interesting these days. Interesting time to be alive. But just a month ago, Donald Trump tweeted, remember, that James Comey better hope there's no tapes of the conversations before he starts leaking to the press. Keep in mind, Donald Trump never said there are for sure tapes that he recorded of James Comey, but he hinted that there might be. And just today, he admitted that there are none. So, what a super troll move. He basically got Comey to squirm and out himself. So, ha! Good move. Next, we're moving on to the congressman that was shot. Remember, Scalise, potato. He was shot, remember, just in recent weeks in the baseball game in Washington, D.C. And this article that was posted the other day on the Anonymous website stated how he was actually mentioned in John Podesta's emails. This was, and it stated in an email of John Podesta, it said, "The third-ranking member of the House spoke at a rally sponsored by white supremacists. It's time for him to step down from his leadership position for the good of the country." And you can look into a little bit more of this article, but it basically states how, because Scalise was trying to expose the human trafficking issue, remember he recently released a video very recently before he was shot, he could have been pissing off some people in Washington, D.C. who may be connected to the whole human trafficking issue, and we can do some research showing that to be the case. So, great article by Anonymous. I'm glad they posted this. Go check it out, because some very crucial knowledge to understand that situation with. Now we're moving into Mark Zuckerberg. And Mark Zuckerberg just was doing some interviews today about how he has changed Facebook's mission. And apparently, again, probably because of how impactful alternative media like these, YouTube videos I'm doing, and all how everybody is using social media to share information these days, that the powers that be, with Mark Zuckerberg as their social media mouthpiece, have to really cover their ass and do all they can to put a stomp on what they call fake news, right? So in these interviews and articles that were posted about this, Zuckerberg is really trying to target Facebook groups, because this is a huge way that information is shared on Facebook. And it's actually a big way that I started on this channel. I would share these videos to different Facebook groups to get the word out there. So when Facebook groups were started in 2010, it looks like that Facebook didn't really realize how strong they would become. And now, obviously, it's a huge thing. You can literally find Facebook groups for anything, for any information you want, for, basically just anything. And this is just indicative of the whole issue of the internet. I mean, the powers that be, when they created the internet, because it was created in military programs and DARPA and whatnot, when they created the internet and then released it to the public, they had no idea how big of a firestorm they would create. And now it's coming around to basically bite them in the ass. So they're trying to do all they can to stifle the internet without making it look like they're stifling the internet, because they can't introduce legislation bills like that anymore to control the internet, because people would notice, and that they wouldn't let that happen. So now they have to basically stifle it without making it look like they're trying to stifle it. So they're apparently going to fight fake news and hate speech in Facebook groups. So let's keep a lookout for that, and hopefully they don't suppress the spread of truthful information too much there. And lastly, the History Channel exposing CIA drug trafficking. Now, and this was actually reported, I'm going to link an article down below, by The Intercept. So this is mainstream news. So the mainstream media is actually reporting on a new series on the History Channel by describing the war on drugs and how the CIA has had a hand in drug trafficking. Now, this article and this History Channel piece on it doesn't, of course, implicate it as much as it should. This article kind of does some ass-covering stuff, and we're not saying the CIA has been in this big conspiracy and yada yada, but of course the truth of the matter is they very well have. People like Hillary Clinton, allegedly, and the Bush family and a lot of others have had a direct hand in focusing the CIA and bringing a lot of cocaine and opium from Afghanistan and whatnot into this country. So that's one of the ways that they make a lot of their black market money for their, you know, whatever the heck they use it for. So, but that's just interesting, right? The mainstream media getting some truth out there, which is what I like to see. But then, again, a big theme of mainstream media putting truthful information out there is making sure it's 100% truth and not half truth and half misinformation to muddy the waters, and making sure that the truth they do put out there is not to have some type of like partial disclosure bait and switch or psychological operation from that. So there is a bunch of news for you guys, right? Clinton's still being investigated. Podesta is going to talk next week. And then a bunch of interesting things put out there in the mainstream media. Mark Zuckerberg's trying to continually be his douchebag self. And then Trump just still trolling him. So anyway, thank you guys. And a couple notes before I end this video. Remember to follow me or friend me on Facebook, because I post a lot of funny memes that'll make you laugh and information on there. Subscribe to my Patreon account, because I post a lot of unique updates on that. Thank you to all of you guys who have already supported me on Patreon. And then there's also PayPal for single donations, one-time donations. So thank all of you guys for continuing to support this channel. Spread the message in these videos, and continue check back for more stuff, more good videos, and more projects that I'll be working on. So take care, guys. Peace out.